Now, AI, it's never far from the papers at the moment, but this story that dropped on the Times website at 3 a.m. this morning is genuinely terrifying. An American attack drone, piloted by artificial intelligence, has turned on its human operators. Don't worry, it's during a simulation, but the AI drone killed its operators because it didn't like being given new orders. Joining me to talk about this is barrister and futurist. Yep, we're back to the futurist. Andrew Eborn, good morning.
Back to the Futurist. I love it. That's exactly what happens. Every single day there are AI stories. And this is a terrifying glimpse of a sort of Terminator-style machine seemingly taking over. And it was basically a report by Colonel Tucker Chinko Hamilton, who is the American Air Force's Chief of AI Test and Operation. And this was a presentation that he gave at the Royal Aeronautical Society, a high-powered conference in London on the future combat air and space capabilities. And what he was doing, he was looking at a simulation. It's important to emphasize it is a simulation. No people actually died. And it was a simulated mission to destroy enemy surface-to-air missiles, otherwise known as SAMs. And what he said is we were training it in simulation to identify and target a SAM threat. And then the operator would say, yes, kill that threat. But basically the system realizing that while it did identify the threat, at times the human operator would tell it not to kill, and therefore the AI wouldn't get the points and the rewards that it wanted. So what it did, it killed the operator. So it's all about the rise of the machine and basically the fear that may happen. What they then did is train the system to, hey, don't kill the operator because that's bad and you're going to lose points if you do that. So what the machine then did, it started destroying the communication tower so it couldn't hear the orders. So it's a threat, if you like. It's a big, big warning. And as I always say, AI, artificial intelligence, is our greatest human achievement, but also potentially our biggest existential threat.
Well, on that, Andrew, I mean, you know, I've heard people talking about worries before. For example, if we give an AI a job of solving, let's say, global warming, and then the AI decides, well, the best way to do that is just to wipe out the human race. Is that a possibility?
And that's exactly the example I always quote. And you work on that sort of base, say, well, what causes global warming? Well, according to several sources, it's humanity. So get rid of humanity. If you also gave the AI the instruction, stop human suffering, well, rather similar to an animal that suffers, you put it down.
Right.
So all of these, it's Edward Bernays, who was the father of PR. He always says that the most powerful weapon in the marketeer's arsenal is fear. And that's what's happening at the moment. We're having two sides of the story. This week we had a new superbug killing antibiotic was discovered using AI, which will save millions of people's lives. Great, great story. At the same time, we talk about automating weapons, and it is very, very dangerous. And these are the risks. And this is why the Center for AI Safety put out a warning this week and invited people to basically sign up to it, saying mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks, and so on and so forth.
We see lack of joined up thinking on things like the environment. I mean, how do we make sure this doesn't happen? Are you hopeful for the future?
Oh, I'm very hopeful. I'm probably the biggest advocate for AI. What we need to do, and as you know, I talk around the world on this, we need to understand its capabilities, but also its limitations. And as I've often said, it's been used for propaganda. It basically can make things up if it doesn't know the answers, what are called hallucinations. And we've had a case in the States just this week about a lawyer who used ChatGPT to come up with cases. And the lawyer cited all these cases in court. The trouble is, every single one of those cases was false. It was made up. So we need to have those safeguards in place. The best advice is question everything, understand what the technology can do, but also understand its limitations.
Okay, Andrew, thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to speak to you again soon. Have a great weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Andrew Eborn, barrister, broadcaster and futurist. Coming up,